The moment the Madison Season 1 trailer drops, you can feel it instantly. This isn't just another Taylor Sheridan project. This is the kind of story that sneaks up on you, grabs your attention, and refuses to let go. Every frame in that trailer feels heavy, intentional, like something is pulling this broken New York family toward a place they never expected to end up. And the most chilling part? Sheridan is hiding something in this story. Something we are only beginning to see in the trailer's smallest details. If you thought Yellowstone was emotional, you're not ready for what the Madison is about to put you through. From the very first second of the Madison Season 1 trailer, the tone feels unmistakably Sheridan. Quiet, tense, and filled with unspoken grief. The trailer doesn't open with action or big Montana landscapes. Instead, it hits you with the silence of a family that has clearly lived through something devastating. They slow camera pans across empty rooms, photos turned upside down, and a mother's face that looks like she hasn't slept for months. Michelle Pfeiffer's character, Stacy Clyern, barely speaks in these early moments, and yet her presence fills the entire frame. The trailer lets us see the exhaustion under her eyes, the tremble in her breath, the way she clutches a necklace like she's holding on to the last piece of someone she lost. And then comes the shift. The environment slowly changes from New York's cold, sharp edges to the wide, quiet, open world of Montana. But this transition isn't peaceful. It's uncomfortable. The trailer cuts from honking taxis to open fields, from crowded sidewalks to a lonely gravel driveway. You can almost sense the confusion of the McIntosh family as they step out of their car and stare at a home that doesn't feel like theirs. Sheridan uses this contrast to tell us exactly what the season is about. Escape, but not relief. Distance, but not healing. Safety, but at a cost they don't yet understand. We get quick flashes of supporting characters, each of them adding a layer to the show's central mystery. Kevin Zeger's character, Cade, appears for a moment, standing alone in the doorway of the property, watching the family arrive. The expression on his face isn't welcoming. It's cautious. Maybe even guilty, like he knows something about the land they're stepping into. Danielle Vasanova, as Kestrel, appears next. Her scene's brief but powerful. The trailer shows her standing near a burnt patch of field, staring at something in the dirt. Her eyes shift like she's holding back a story she doesn't want to speak out loud. And then there's Matthew Fox, playing Paul, the quiet Montana bachelor. The trailer shows him against the backdrop of a river, watching the water move like he's trying to wash something away that refuses to leave his mind. Sheridan likes to build emotion through stillness, and the trailer proves it. There's a moment where the McIntosh family sits at the dinner table, but nobody is eating. Nobody is talking. You just hear the ticking of a clock. Bridget, played by Amaya Miller, keeps glancing at her mother. Her younger sister avoids eye contact altogether. It tells you everything. This family isn't just grieving. They're hiding from something they cannot process yet. Sheridan doesn't reveal the tragedy in the trailer, but he lets you feel its weight. That is classic Sheridan, letting silence do the heavy lifting. And then the trailer takes a darker turn. A door slams in the middle of the night. A shadow crosses the edge of the barn. A radio cuts out while someone is trying to speak. There's a quick flash of Kurt Russell's character. Only a few seconds, but enough to make your heart jump. He appears sitting in the front seat of a pickup truck, staring ahead like he's seen this kind of pain before, like he knows what this family is running from. His eyes look both empathetic and suspicious. Sheridan isn't giving away his role yet, but the trailer makes one thing very clear. He is going to be the heartbeat of this story, the character who sees the truth before the family even realizes they're surrounded by it. One of the most chilling sequences comes near the end of the trailer. The screen goes black, and all you hear is a young girl whispering, "Mom, someone was in my room last night." It's not loud, it's not dramatic. It's quiet, trembling, terrified. Then it cuts to Michelle Pfeiffer turning on a hallway light, the frame shaking slightly, as if she's scared of what she might find. But just as she reaches for a door, the trailer cuts away. Sheridan knows exactly how to leave you breathless. Show enough to raise questions, but never give away the answers. The trailer closes with a single wide shot of the mountains, the wind pushing through the valley, and the McIntosh family standing together, but feeling miles apart emotionally. A narrator says, "Sometimes the hardest place to find peace is the one that forces you to remember. It's a line that hits deep, because that's what the Madison is truly about. Grief that follows you, even when you run to the ends of the world. Sheridan isn't telling the story of a family on vacation. He's telling the story of a family trying to survive something their hearts weren't prepared for. And with Paramount renewing Season 2 before Season 1 has even aired, the trailer hints at something bigger. Hidden storylines, unresolved pasts, characters whose lives are more intertwined than they appear. The Madison isn't just a new Yellowstone universe show. It's a slow-burning emotional thriller that's about to take over every conversation once it premieres. What makes the Madison trailer so gripping is that it never hands you the characters directly. Instead, it lets you study them, observe the small fractures in their expressions, and fill in the emotional gaps yourself. The McIntosh family doesn't feel like a typical Sheridan group with loud confrontations or explosive arguments. This family feels like they're silently collapsing from the inside, barely holding themselves together with smiles that never reach their eyes. Michelle Pfeiffer's Stacy Clyerne is at the center of that emotional storm, and all it takes is one trailer to see that this woman is carrying the weight of something far heavier than grief. There's a moment where she stands alone in the Montana home's hallway, running her hand along the wooden wall, like she's searching for something familiar, something safe. But nothing about this place feels safe to her. The trailer doesn't reveal why, but her fear is clear. She didn't choose Montana. Montana happened to her. Patrick J. Adams as Russell McIntosh appears in brief flashes, and even in those clips, his character feels distant. One moment he's talking to a realtor about property details, trying to keep himself composed, and the next he's seen sitting in the car with his hands gripping the steering wheel until his knuckles turn white. Sheridan doesn't have to explain anything. The tension in Russell's face tells you this man is trying to be the strong one, but the tragedy that hit their family shattered him in ways he hasn't admitted. There's a quick shot in the trailer where he snaps at a neighbor before immediately apologizing. It's only a second long, but that single moment exposes him. He's emotionally raw, unstable, and holding back something he doesn't want anyone to know. Then there's Paige McIntosh, played by Elle Chapman. The trailer shows her scrolling through her phone while sitting outside the Montana house, clearly trying to hold on to the New York life she refused to leave behind. Her smile feels fake. Her voice sounds shaky. When she FaceTimes someone, you can barely hear the conversation, but you catch enough to understand she's pretending everything is fine when it absolutely isn't. Sheridan loves exploring characters who hide in plain sight, and Paige feels like one of those. Outwardly confident, internally breaking. Bridget, the older daughter, played by Amaya Miller, is another highlight. She barely speaks in the trailer, but her facial expressions carry entire stories. In one scene, she walks away from her mom after asking a question the trailer doesn't let us hear. In another, she sits outside at dawn, wrapped in a blanket, staring at the valley like she's looking for someone who isn't coming back. Sheridan uses her innocence to amplify the series' emotional tension. The trailer lets us see her fear, her confusion, and her desperate attempts to keep the family together. The younger daughter is shown only in a few flashes, but those scenes are enough to create suspense. There's one shot where she's drawing something with crayons, something dark, jagged, unsettling. And when Stacy sees it, the camera zooms in on her reaction. Shock, fear, recognition. The trailer doesn't explain what the drawing means, but the way Stacy's face falls tells you everything. Sheridan is planting seeds for a storyline tied to the past, something the young child remembers or witnessed but can't fully express. Then come the neighbors and locals, each one adding another layer of mystery. Kevin Zeger's character, Cade, is shown unlocking the gate to the McIntosh property before they arrive, and the way he looks at the house suggests he has a deeper connection to it. Maybe he knows something about what happened here before. Maybe he was involved in it, or maybe he's simply carrying his own grief. Sheridan's trailers never reveal motives, only moods, and Cade's mood is pure tension. You can't tell if he's a friend or a threat, which is exactly why he stands out. Paramount clearly wants the Madison to hold the Yellowstone torch once the original series ends, and the trailer feels like a promise that this new show isn't a replacement. It's an expansion, a spiritual successor, a different lens on the same world. Sheridan knows fans want connections, but he's smart enough not to reveal them in the trailer. Instead, he plants hints, familiar symbols, familiar tones, familiar emotional scars. If Yellowstone is about power, the Madison is about pain. And in the Yellowstone universe, pain always carries stories. The behind-the-scenes production choices also reveal the magnitude of Sheridan's plan. The decision to greenlight Season 2 before Season 1 even premiered wasn't made lightly. Paramount doesn't gamble like that unless the scripts, performances, and early internal screenings show something exceptional. And if you look closely at the trailer, you can see scenes that couldn't possibly fit into a single 10-episode run. Meaning, Sheridan has already structured this as a multi-season emotional arc. This isn't a one-season mystery. It's a slow-burning evolution of a broken family trying to rebuild from the ashes of something unspeakable. Sheridan's signature style is also visible in the editing. Instead of dramatic music and explosive transitions, the Madison trailer uses quiet, almost haunting notes. A single piano key, a slow violin, a distant echo of wind. It's the sound of grief trying to find a way to breathe again. At one point, the trailer shows a close-up of Stacy's hands shaking while holding a letter. You don't see the name on the envelope, you don't hear what's written inside, but her reaction is enough to tell you that this letter is a turning point. It may contain the truth behind the tragedy, or a warning about what's coming next. Sheridan uses these small details to set up emotional traps. Traps that pull viewers deeper into the story without revealing anything concrete. And then there's the most intriguing detail of all, the recurring shot of the barn. It appears 4 separate times in the trailer, and each time, something changes. First, the barn is perfectly still. Next, a door is slightly open. Later, the light inside flickers like someone has been there. And the final shot shows Stacy standing outside the barn at night, breathing heavily, staring at something we can't see. Sheridan doesn't put that many variations of a single location in a trailer unless it's tied to a core mystery. Something happened in that barn, or something is going to happen, and the trailer wants you to feel that dread without showing it. What makes the Madison so chilling is that it doesn't rely on supernatural fear or dramatic violence. The fear comes from memory, from silence, from the idea that grief follows you no matter where you run. The trailer reveals that the McIntosh family didn't just move to Montana. They're being pushed there by something unresolved, something emotional, or something more literal. And the people they meet in Montana aren't just neighbors, they're witnesses. To what, we don't know yet, but the trailer makes one thing clear. The valley remembers what the family is trying to forget. The Madison trailer closes with a kind of emotional pressure that lingers long after the final frame fades out. It's not the kind of trailer you watch once and move on from. It sits with you. It crawls under your skin. And that is exactly why Paramount is pushing this series as their next long-term centerpiece. The studio has been quietly shaping the Madison into the next evolution of the Yellowstone universe. Something more personal, more character-driven, and more emotionally raw than anything Sheridan has produced in years. And when you look carefully at the release timing, the trailer's structure, and the deep layers of the story being teased, you can feel the weight of a show that's been built to dominate conversations the second it premieres. The expected release window of January 2026 isn't accidental. Sheridan has always loved releasing his most emotional projects at the start of the year, when the world is quieter and audiences are craving something meaningful to latch onto. A New Year's release gives the Madison the spotlight completely. No competition, no noise. Just a broken family stepping into a valley that feels as beautiful as it is unforgiving. And when you pair that with the fact that Season 2 is already in motion, months before Season 1 even airs, you realize you're looking at a series that Paramount believes can run for years. They aren't just investing in a single storyline. They're investing in a universe within a universe. A new frontier for Sheridan storytelling. Danielle Vasanova as Kestrel appears again, this time in a scene where she warns Stacy about the valley winds at night. Her tone isn't casual. It's cautious, almost like she's hinting at something she doesn't want to say directly. She looks at the river with concern, at the woods with hesitation. Kestrel is one of those characters Sheridan uses to speak truths indirectly. Someone who knows the land intimately and understands the kind of secrets it keeps buried. The trailer gives her only 10 seconds, but those 10 seconds feel like a warning. Matthew Fox's character, Paul, gets one of the most mysterious moments in the whole trailer. He's shown repairing a fishing rod when someone off-screen asks him why the McIntosh family came here. Paul doesn't respond right away. He just looks up, as if he's debating whether he should tell the truth or keep it hidden. His silence says more than words ever could. And when he finally responds with a simple, "People come here for the same reason they leave, trying to forget," the trailer cuts to black. Sheridan loves giving his quiet characters the lines that define the entire show, and that single sentence captures the emotional core of the Madison. And then we see Kurt Russell again. His scenes are short, intentional, and loaded with meaning. One moment shows him standing on the porch with a cup of coffee, watching the sunrise like a man who has seen this valley heal families and destroy them. Another shot shows him driving slowly behind the McIntosh car, keeping a distance, almost like he's watching over them, or watching them. The ambiguity is deliberate. Sheridan wants the audience to question his motives, to wonder whether this man is a savior, a witness, or a reminder of something buried deep within the valley. The Madison trailer ends with a chilling montage. The family arguing behind closed doors, a door swinging open on its own, a flashlight beam shaking in the dark, someone running across the yard, and a final echo of a girl whispering, "It wasn't the wind." The last frame shows Stacy holding her daughters close, staring into the darkness with a look that mixes terror, grief, and determination. Sheridan doesn't reveal the danger, but he reveals the fear. And sometimes, the fear is more powerful than the danger itself. One of the most fascinating parts of the Madison trailer is how much it hides behind its rural beauty. Sheridan has always been a master of using landscapes as emotional weapons, and here he pushes that idea further than ever before. Montana doesn't just look breathtaking in the trailer, it looks unsettling. The mountains feel sharper, the winds feel colder, and the river feels like it's carrying memories nobody wants to touch. Filming took place across the Madison River Valley for months, but the trailer makes it clear that this series wasn't shot just to showcase scenery. Sheridan isn't interested in postcard views. He wants landscapes that break people open, and he found exactly that kind of land in Montana. But what really stands out to fans who have been following production from the beginning is how much North Texas footage appears in the trailer. You can see it in the airport scenes, the city flashbacks, and the emotional transitions between New York and Montana. Those scenes in Denton, Dallas, and Fort Worth weren't filler. They were the backbone of the family's past. Sheridan uses the Texas locations to build a bridge between two worlds. The fast-paced, cold, suffocating energy of the city contrasts painfully with the slow, heavy, isolating pressure of Montana. The trailer switches back and forth between them like a heartbeat that can't settle. And this contrast is intentional. The Madison isn't just about a family moving to the countryside. It's about a family being torn between the past they can't escape and the future they're terrified to face. If you look closely, you'll notice that the New York flashbacks feel tighter, almost claustrophobic. The trailer uses warm indoor lighting that should feel cozy, but instead feels threatening, as if something traumatic happened within those walls. Sheridan loves using light as a storyteller, and here, the lighting tells us everything we need to know. The tragedy didn't happen in Montana. It happened in the world they left behind. The Madison is not a story about a new danger waiting for them. It's a story about the danger that already found them. The Yellowstone connection appears subtly but unmistakably. Sheridan never throws direct references into his trailers, but he leaves emotional fingerprints everywhere. The Madison carries the same themes that built Yellowstone: land, legacy, family tension, moral collapse, but it twists them into something far more intimate. Instead of cattle wars and political fights, the conflict here is internal. It's the universe's quiet side, the emotional side, the deeply human side.